All right, welcome back to the channel. Got a big fight, not a big fight, but a good fight I'm looking forward to this week. Danny Garcia versus Redkach. And also on the undercard of that, we get to see the return of Jarrett Hurd in his first fight since he lost his title to J-Rock. But looking at this fight and breaking down the tape for this fight with Redkach and Garcia, you notice some things that should tell you what Danny Garcia is trying to do next. And also Danny Garcia spoke about in the press conference or the last couple interviews that took place over yesterday. He talked about Errol Spence Jr. He talked about Crawford. So let's talk about that and what's going to happen after this fight in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. Subscribers, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, thank you to everybody that supports on the Patreon. Go check out the Patreon. We did a video, uploaded a video yesterday. It was entitled Deontay Wilder and Servicing Your Greatness. I think that you'll enjoy the conversation. Also, thank you to everybody that supports who's joined the channel and everybody that supports on the live streams Monday through Friday. And our centerpiece of this channel, OG Boxing Talk, which happens on Sunday mornings, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time with my co-host Blood Boxing, KQKC, Curtis Anderson, the boxing historian, and Trap House. And this weekend, the great Drew Titan shall be back on the panel. So we are complete once again, and I think you will really enjoy that. Also, we're going to release videos every day at 1:15, 3:15, 5:15, and 8:15. So keep your eyes up. If you don't get your notification, keep an eye out for the videos that we drop. This one, I do believe, will be at 8:15. So I got to do that. We record them all and upload them later. But look, let me tell you something, man, about Danny Garcia. I'm looking forward to this fight with Danny Garcia because I'm a Danny Garcia fan. There's only been a couple issues that I've had with Danny Garcia. Danny Swift Garcia, Puerto Rican fighter, fights out of the great boxing city of Philadelphia. It was going to be fighting at the Barclays Center against Ivan Redkach. Ivan Redkach is a southpaw. He's a southpaw, like a 5'10" southpaw from the Ukraine. And he goes by the nickname El Terrible. So you can see right there that he's doing a little bit of a Gennady Golovkin Mexican style type of thing. And so when I see him fighting a southpaw, it tells and the fights that he has, the potential fights that he has next is Errol Spence Jr., a southpaw, and he wants to fight Manny Pacquiao, who's a southpaw. Also, you have the outside chance of a Terence Crawford fight, who also will fight large sections of the fight in the southpaw stance. That this is a fight that, Danny Garcia is looking forward and preparing for his next fighter. And I think it's a smart choice. You see some people fight southpaws before they fight orthodox fighters. Yeah, that's kind of made me wonder whether or not Tyson Fury was actually going to fight Deontay Wilder when he fought the southpaw Otto Wallin, however you say his name, forgive me, but Otto Wallin made me wonder. But you can see that Danny Garcia picked this opponent because of the Errol Spence Jr. fight or the Manny Pacquiao fight or the Terence Crawford fight. Now, as far as this fight itself, because then I'm going to talk right after this, I'm going to talk about what he said about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. So, stay tuned for that. But in this fight here, man, Ivan Redkach's last win was against Devin. It was a knockout win against Devin Alexander. So now I wasn't tremendously familiar with Ivan Redkach, obviously. I do recall that Devin Alexander had been knocked out in his last fight, and I hadn't got a chance to see the fight. But then, okay, when I look up and I'm saying, okay, what has Redkach done? I see that he beat Devin Alexander. So I was like, oh man, this is a tall southpaw. And I watched as much as the fight as I could. It was coming forward. It was being aggressive with with Devin Alexander, and he must have had a little bit of pop because this Devin Haney has not gotten. I don't know if Devin Haney had been stopped before, but not Devin Haney, excuse me. Devin Alexander had been stopped before, but Devin Alexander, although he's a little long in the tooth and his best days are behind him, he's a solid fighter. But then I looked further into the record and I was like, hold on, man, this dude lost to Zadoklannin. How do you lose to Zadoklannin? Zadoklannin was a guy that beat him, that knocked him out, and Zadoklannin is a lightweight that knocked him out. And then I looked again, I was like, hold on, man, he lost to Tevin Farmer. What's he doing fighting at 130? So like he knocked out Devin Alexander at 140. I do believe that was at 147 because it was this year and that's what Devin Alexander was fighting at. So he knocked Devin Alexander out at 147, but he lost to Tevin Farmer down at 130. This is kind of funny, man. So just the simple fact that Devin Haney obviously, Tevin Farmer, because I'm doing Tevin and Zadoklannin and Devin Alexander, forgive me, but Tevin Farmer is more of a slick boxer. He's probably just outpointed him, but Zadoklannin is. Zadoklannin is the guy that won the lightweight belt and got knocked out cold by Mikey Garcia. He was a decent fighter, but I think you're going to see a massacre over here. Just looking at what happened and looking at the come forward style of Redkach, this fight seems like it's set up to make Danny Garcia, kind of like the Brandon Rios fight, man, where Brandon Rios was pushing forward, looking halfway decent against Danny Garcia. And then that left hook, I think it was a left hook that he knocked out Brandon Rios with, man, sent Brandon Rios pulled a jab back a little slowly. Danny Garcia came over the top of that mug and boom, lights out. And so that's what I expect to see out of Ivan Redkach. I don't think that I'll be wrong, but we will see when we talk about it in OG Boxing Talk on Sunday. Also, Jarrett Hurd is going to be on this fight card, and he's coming back against Santana, and he's had some interesting things to say about the Deontay Wilder fight, about the J-Rock fight. We're going to do that, in another video that hopefully you'll check out today. It'll be up on the channel. But the thing that Danny Garcia talked about, he was asked about Terence Crawford, and he was asked about Errol Spence, and he said something to the effect of, "Yeah, man, I'd like to fight Terence Crawford. We fought in the amateurs for free. Why wouldn't I want to fight him professionally for a lot of money, provided that it's done right, Also, he said, he's had ups and downs in his career, but he realizes that right now he's at the point of where he knows that he loves boxing, and boxing is what makes him happy. He says when he's sitting at home and he's not fighting or he's not preparing for a fight, that he's just not very happy. And, that just kind of made me worry about Danny Garcia a little bit. But hey, with that mindset, I have to believe that he would be willing to fight Terence Crawford. He's clearly willing to fight Errol Spence Jr. at this point because he knows that it's a big money fight. He knows his career is coming, is coming to maybe not this year, next year, but like he said in his interview, he's been fighting for 21 years. The guy's 31 years old. There's only a few more years left to get these big money fights and make sure he's got his, so he can participate in the sports that he loves and put the money away, for him. Now, as far as how he would do with these guys, Ivan Redkach, I think he's gonna handle Ivan Redkach. There's gonna be some exciting moments in the fight because Danny Garcia is somebody that people can look good against, because he will fight on the back foot and try to counter you. That left hook is just something nasty. But just like the rest of the guys at 147 pounds, specifically, I'm speaking of Danny Garcia. I'm speaking of Sean Porter, speaking of Keith Thurman, those two guys, Errol Spence Jr., Manny Pacquiao, man, all those guys have all proven at 147 pounds that all of those guys are tough. It is going to be easy. It's going to be hard for you just to dog walk any particular guy. So if you look at how Danny Garcia performed against Keith Thurman, man, that was That was a tough fight for Keith Thurman, though he won the fight. Sean Porter, same thing. Sean Porter did not win that fight going away. That fight came with Danny Garcia putting stuff, getting stronger in the second half of the fight. Same thing with Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia getting stronger in the second half of the fight, showing that he can take the shots, that he's got a good chin, showing that he's got enough power to keep respected 154. If Errol Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia fight, I expect the same thing. I expect it to be a tougher fight than people believe. I don't think it'll be a situation where Errol Spence just runs through Danny Garcia. I see Errol Spence Jr. beating Danny Garcia because I think he's a better boxer than Danny Garcia, but Danny Garcia is a legitimate fighter. I know there's a lot of criticism still hanging over his head for, fights against, people thought he lost to Mauricio Herrera. People were mad that he fought Rod Salka, but Danny Garcia is this type of guy that, he either fights somebody real good or he fights somebody that's kind of maybe not, apparently not worthy. But anyway it goes, man, I'm looking forward to whoever he fights next. I'm looking forward to this fight. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.